Hello, everyone. Welcome to Star Start. I'm your host today. My name is Ajay Kashyap, and I head the overseas Indian business. And we have a very special guest today from Australia, a famous cricketer, musician, and a fashion designer. So let's welcome Brett. Welcome, Brett. Namaste, Sat Sri Akal. Good day.
Namaste, Sachikal G. How are you?
I'm great. Good to have you, Brett. And
The
let me
nickname
tell you this
Cash. I
that we
like
have.
that.
Yeah, I mean, sure, Binga. I like Binga too.
Exactly.
We
Yeah,
can.
done. I'm happy with that.
So great to have you. And Brad, today we have customers from Australia, London, UAE, Singapore, Hong Kong, and India logged in, right? So it's a very, very
Fantastic.
special starstruck for us. And we are already 6 countries have logged in to listen to you. So look forward to a very nice afternoon, though I know it's a cold winter evening for you. So thank you for joining us.
No, it's a
Yeah,
pleasure. And
so
I
first thing.
hope everyone's great. Hope everyone's being safe around the world. And, we're going through this horrible time at the moment. So, yeah, wish everyone well and looking forward to our chat tonight.
So, Brett, how's the situation in Australia on COVID? Let me first ask you that because I heard that last 3 days have been bad for Victoria and it's spiking back.
Yeah, look, RJ, it was, we were going so well through, what has happened in Australia over the past probably 2 or 3 months. We obviously went through a real tough period. I'm based in New South Wales and, based here in Sydney. And we'd got through, I think, the hard part. We'd flattened the curve. We'd got down to pretty much no cases over a number of days. If there was a case, it'd only be every now and then. It wasn't sort of every single day or every single hour like we're seeing around the world. And then through a couple of unfortunate moments down in Victoria, there was a few, protests that went on. There was a few things that happened in Victoria. And unfortunately for them, there's been a spike. So there's been a second wave that's hit, which is very, very unfortunate because whole of Australia were doing such a great job. And we're not going to blame Victoria either. That, they were doing such a great job too. But it's unfortunate what's happened. But look, I think once we get through the next week or two, hopefully it'll go back to where it was. We might see a few changes happen in Australia, but yeah, hopefully it all gets back to on like an even keel again.
Yeah, we got to get our life back. It's been really a stressful time for so many people. So just want to ask you how you've been keeping fit and, are there any tricks you have for people to know how to be mentally strong in the situation because many people are cooped down?
Yeah, well, look, to me, it's been it's been such a strange time because on one hand, it's horrible what the world's going through with all, obviously with the deaths and with people struggling in intensive care. And then on the other side of things, it's actually given a lot of people some time to reset their batteries again and actually spend a lot more time with their family. So I always believe that when bad happens, good can come out of it. And I think this is, a case in, the world where everything is so fast fetched. It's really quick. We all want things to happen very, very quickly around the world. But because we've had to self-isolate for a number of months, we are spending a lot more time with our family. So for me, that's always on the road. I'm always over in India.
Right.
I'm always at an airport, always, flying somewhere. It's nice to be at home to spend some quality time with the family. And I say that obviously with the utmost respect for people that have lost their life or friends that are struggling. But the positive is it's been really nice to spend some quality time at home.
No, that's a great perspective, Brett. Thank you for that. And, just on that, what's your feel on cricket without fans now? I mean, that's another outcome of this whole situation we are facing.
Yeah, well, we've seen it with other sports, haven't we? With it's happened here in Australia with the football, where they've gone fan free, if that's a word. They've had nobody in the stadium. They've had then limited amount of people that have then come into the stadium to watch. It might be 1,000 or 2,000 fans, and they have the crowd there, or what they think is a crowd, the noise of a crowd when someone scores a try or happens in football. So, look, it's a different world now. Playing sport and definitely playing cricket with no crowd, because me personally, I used to love feeding off the crowd. When
I know.
Sachin Tendulkar walks in the bat and you hear the crowd go berserk and they go crazy. And then I think, well, I've got to step up the bowl to the great man. And you actually feed off that energy. So when that energy is not there, when that excitement and that noise or that bubble isn't there, it must be very hard for a player to get themselves up. But, you've also got to put things into perspective too, to think, well, we're doing it for a reason. It's to make everyone safe. So let's just get through these testing times and continue to go about our way.
No, indeed. So Brett, before we get to know you better, I just need to get one question out of the way. And I know the answer, but I just for record, I need to ask it. Who was faster, Brett Lee or Shoaib Akhtar?
Well, he's got a cricket ball on record. I'd like to think that I bowled consistently quicker over 20 years. And that's the thing that I'm proud about. Right. My aim was to hit 160, 160 Ks or 100 miles an hour. And I also want to bowl 150 Ks plus for 20 years, which I achieved. So that's something that I'm, it wasn't just a spell here or there. The thing that as I said, I'm proud about to bowl fast for a long period of time means that I've got the good stamina, and hopefully I've got the the decent genes and the sort of stamina to keep working through it. He was quick, that Shoaib. He was super quick.
Yeah. So tell me, did you ever face Shoaib Akhtar? And if you did, I'm sure you had chances to face him. And how was it facing him, being a batsman on the other side?
Horrible. Look, Shoaib was a very, very good friend of mine. And it's funny how over the years when I watch him bowl and, they always played us off against each other. It was always Shoaib versus me. Who's going to be the quickest? Who will be the quickest to get to 160 Ks or 161? And we sort of had a bit of fun with that with the press too. We had a bit of excitement around it. We sort of pumped it up as well. But there was a time when I went out to bat and it was Australia versus Pakistan. I think it was in Adelaide. And I'm out batting and I hear Binga, Binga, Binga. I'm looking around at the slips and thinking, who's calling me? And then about 50 metres behind the stumps, I see Shoaib Akhtar and he goes, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, what? Shoaib is a good friend of mine. He won't try to kill me. It's all bravado. It's him playing up to the press as he always does, and had a bit of a smile on his face. So I knew it was going to be either a big bouncer over my head or a Yorker. So I thought it's probably going to be a Yorker, just a short back lift and see how we go.
Right.
And it came in, hit me on the foot, almost broke my foot. I thought I was out. I was about to walk off. LBW, the umpire said not out. I gave me not out because I thought I have to face another ball of Shoaib Akhtar, which is not good.
So tell me if that's right. I was reading somewhere that in your younger years, you and Shoaib shared a ball, played for Mossman. Is that correct?
Look, it's a bit of a legend. It's also a bit of a myth. Look, we did play for the same club. So there were occasions where, over a number of weekends, Shoaib bowled from one end, I bowled from the other, but not in the same match, unfortunately. And there's a great cricketer here based in Sydney, and he reckons he's kept to the two quickest guys in the world ever, within the space of a month. So, yeah, we unfortunately didn't, with our schedules, they didn't sort of quite line up that we bowled from both ends. Look, it would have been a lot of fun, but he was a great asset to our club too.
No, indeed. And, we already have some questions popping up, and maybe I'll just take one question.
Sure.
And this is Ranjit from Bangalore.
I'll just grab some Thanda Pani.
Please. Zarur. Thanda Pani Zarur. So it's Ranjit from Bangalore. He's asking you who's the toughest batsman you bowled in your career and who's the best Indian batsman you bowled to.
Pleasure to play against some amazing cricketers in my career. Had the chance to play against Brian Lara, Rahul Dravid. I got MSD, I got Kohli, but it was always getting Sachin Tendulkar at his prime. Me in my prime. To me, that was the best contest, and that was something that I was looking forward to. So it would have to be, I guess, Sachin Tendulkar, the best batsman. What was the other question? The other second part of it?
I think you've answered that, because who's the best Indian batsman you have bowled to? So I guess.
Well, I could name pretty much throughout between 99 and 2010. I could name the whole Indian batting lineup. From VVS Lakshman to Sehwag, but. Yeah, look, it's just to focus on one. I'd have to go Sachin Tendulkar.
And how was it bowling to Harbhajan Singh?
Look, I used to hate bowling to Harbhajan Singh. I used to really, he used to annoy me on the field. But the thing about Harbhajan Singh is that he's the most loveliest guy off field. And I don't care how someone plays their cricket. He gets the best out of himself because he's always up for a contest. Baji is such a lovely fella, and I can never say enough great words about Harbhajan Singh. He's a lovely guy. He even sent my son some cricket gear. He's got his own cricket gear that he does in back over in India, and he actually sent my son Preston some cricket gear. So we've got a great friendship. We get on so well off the field. On the field, there's always a contest. I used to hate bowling against him because he used to frustrate all the Australians. But as I said, off the field, he's a terrific guy.
Yeah. So, Brett, I have one question, right? And I've been always wondering, which is, every cricketer has a favorite game of their career, right? So,
yeah,
which one is it for you? Was it the World Cup where you had a hat trick against Kenya in 2003? Or was it the Boxing Day game in '99? When you got a baggy green? Or maybe any other? I mean, is there one you have, or there are many great moments in your life?
Look, it's so hard to pick out one particular game because, you could pick out one game from a selfish point of view and say that a game I got 5 wickets or a game that we scored a big total. But look, it was enjoying other people's success too. Playing with Steve Waugh when he got 100 off the last ball. That was a lot of fun back in the Sydney Cricket Ground when he, as I said, he scored that last sort of boundary off the last ball and the crowd went berserk. The hat trick was amazing. My first test was outstanding. That was a lot of fun. But look, I'd probably have to say, mate, I'd have to go playing my first one-day match with my older brother Shane. And for those that don't know, my older brother Shane also played for Australia, played 45 one-day matches for Australia. And to walk out and see Shane Lee, number 20, on his back, and then Brett Lee, number 58, on my back, and thinking that we dreamed about this opportunity, we dreamed about this whole day, us playing in the backyard, being, Sunil Gavaskar to Viv Richards to Alan Border as kids growing up, and think we're out there playing for our country together. That was pretty special.
Oh, that must have been a special moment for mom and dad too, man. That's so awesome, right?
Yeah, it was. Sure. I mean, I was more nervous when my brother made his debut a few years before me. I was more nervous watching him than what I was when I played my first game.
Right. So, Brett, we're going to have some fun now, right? So our team has very good social media. So we have picked up some pictures of yours on social media.
Oh, no.
Don't ask me how, when, where.
Okay.
So we're going to pop them up on the screen so that our clients can look at them, you look at them, and just want to have some fun on those pics and get your thoughts and perspective and
Let's do it.
So can we have the first one?
Oh,
look at that.
That's a good fish. Well, the story with that, the great news is with this fish, it was a catch and release, as most of my fish that I do. So that was about 1.20 meters, 120 centimeter. It's a kingfish. That was off Sydney Harbour.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the pure excitement of catching a fish. So you've got to work out and catch your bait first. I love being out on the open water. You can see how happy I am with a smile on my face, and it's just no crowd around me. There's no people around, just me versus the fish. And as I said, I always believe in catching a fish. If you're going to catch a fish and eat it, that's fine. Only take what you need and throw the rest back to make sure that there's enough for everyone else. So that fish got a tag in it and got put back in the ocean for someone else to have that fun to catch it. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. And that was only probably about 5-6 months ago, I reckon. 5 months ago, maybe.
So is this the longest fish you ever caught? Or
No, my longest was about 1.30 meters. I think it was 1.38 meters kingfish.
And that was a kingfish too?
Yeah, kingfish as well. And they pull like trains. They just go flat out. It's exciting.
Yeah. So any favorite fishing spots for you in Australia?
Well, Sydney's great for fishing. Definitely, if you go up north, up towards Northern Territory, that's really good fishing. You catch barramundi up there. You know what? You also catch barramundi off Goa in India.
Indeed. And have you fished in India ever?
I have a little bit, not much. Yeah, I haven't sort of fished much. It's always been mainly going from the ground to hotel to studio, back to hotel type of thing. But yeah, there's some wonderful fishing spots in India that I'm told.
Yeah, next time you come off Corbett, you can get some very nice brown trout. I mean, there's some very nice fishing spots.
All right, done. I'll take you up on that offer, mate.
Yeah, sure, done. So one more question on fishing, right? I know it's your passion.
Sure.
So black marlin off the reef, have you caught any? Or
I've never caught a marlin, no. I've been out fishing for southern bluefin tuna, which we caught one about 2 meters 10. So a big fish, taller than me, taller than Gertley Ambrose, I reckon. You know, like a huge fish, weighed close to about 160 kilos. But I've never caught a black marlin or any marlin for that matter.
Okay. And is that on your to-do things, or you're just happy fishing off?
You know what? Not really. I sort of, when I go fishing, I generally target this species because the way that it fights, and it's a difficult fish to catch that size. I mean, that could be a once in a lifetime fish.
Right.
So, you know, you've got to have the right conditions, the right bait, the right gear. I mean, if you haven't got the right rod, that'll snap most rods in half straight away. And hence the reason why I like to let them go, because, you know, you want someone else to have that pleasure, to have that fight. And, you know, I've caught like a number of fish now, and I've tagged them. Right. And then you have to write your name and your number, the species, what day you caught it, exactly where you caught it. And I got a letter to say about 6 months later that the fish that I caught in Sydney Harbour was caught down near the Snowy Mountains, down almost on the New South Wales and Victoria border, around about 800 k's away or something.
Wow, how cool is that? Yeah.
So someone else caught it, and then they also tagged it and then put it back in the water. So that's
okay. So just one last question on fish before you move on. Otherwise, this can be a conversation itself. Which is your favorite barbie fish you like to eat?
Oh, on the barbie.
Yeah.
Probably the kingfish. The kingfish is beautiful. Yeah.
Right.
It's really nice to eat, and people that enjoy eating fish, certainly here in Australia, know that the kingfish is a beautiful fish to eat. It's really healthy, really nice meat, really sweet meat.
Great. So can we have the next picture?
Please. Yes. There we go.
Tell us about it.
Well, that's me with my two brothers. So on the right of the screen in the lovely pink Pascal shirt is my older brother, Shane. He's the one with the black shorts on.
Right.
My older brother, as I mentioned before, he also played for Australia. I'm on the left. It's funny how we turned up to, it was actually my cousin's 40th birthday, who's my best mate, Luke. Right. And we sort of turned up all pretty much dressed the same. It was quite funny how we all dressed very similar last October. Mm-hmm. And in the middle, my younger brother, Grant, who is a very, very gifted sportsman, was actually better than Shane and I put together, but didn't want to play cricket. Like, he played at a junior age, played under 12 state team, played under 17 state team. And they got the stage where he just wasn't enjoying it. So my brother Shane said, if you're not enjoying your cricket, well, why put yourself through that pain? And he quit. He was ducks to the school. He's a forensic accountant. He's in finance now. He's in banking. So he's a smart guy. He's a very gifted sportsman, and he's one of the world's best blokes. And the three of us are all best mates. And yeah, that to me, that photo captures what my family means to me, because, you know, family is so important. And I believe that's why I sort of get on really well with Indian culture, because I know how much family means to you guys. You know, when you think about, you often live with your parents, and the grandparents are in the same sort of part of the house, or maybe at the back somewhere. And, you know, it's the same here. I could easily live in a sort of area. You know, my brother lives one street away. My older brother, Shane, and he lives just down the road. So we're a very tight family. Nice. I speak to mum and dad every single day. I don't care where I am in the world. I'll call them. I'll FaceTime them every single day, as I will with my two brothers. And yeah, family is what, you know, you can take sport away from me and I'm happy. Take fishing, I'm happy. But family to me is sort of what counts.
Oh, that's really awesome. Thanks for sharing your thoughts on family. That's awesome. Can you have the next pic, please?
Fire. Well, a lot of people will be thinking, well, that's just a log. That's just fire. What does that mean? It's actually what it stands for. And to me, the smell of the open fireplace, the crackling of the wood, it just relaxes me so much, because I am a country boy at heart, and I've got a farm down south, a couple of hours away out of Sydney, where that photo was taken. And I was only down there last weekend doing the exact same thing. Big open fireplace, just putting logs on the fire, that, you know, trees that have fallen down the property, and you cut them up and you sort of put them on the open fireplace. And it's such a hypnotic thing. You sort of go into like a little trance, and you go into your own little world. And it's a great time just to zone out, because we are so busy in this life, and we are so hectic. getting pulled from pillar to post with interviews and sponsors and appearances and chats and, playing sport. It's nice just to sort of take some time out. So me at the farm in front of an open fireplace, with a glass of red wine or something, that's when I'm nice and relaxed. So that to me is a picture that captures me in my most relaxed state, just when I'm enjoying life.
Very nice.
And just being in the elements, being underneath the stars, and just the fresh air of the country, hearing the birds, watching the cattle sort of, walk around the property and just enjoying life, just in general.
Beautiful. Thanks. So we can really picturize everything, right? Very, very nice. So can we have the next picture on that, please?
Oh, that's
so tell us about it.
That's inside my little makeshift wine cellar. So that's about 1,500 bottles of wine that I have, my little collection.
Yeah.
And when I say little, I mean 1,500 bottles is a lot. It's a lot of wine in there. There's some beautiful wines in there. There's I don't have any Indian wines. I have had some lovely Indian wines when I've been over in your part of the world. But to me, I started collecting wine about 15 years ago now. And
so how many cases of Penfold Grange in this 1,500 wines, Brett?
There's quite a few. There's
Nice.
there's some wonderful brands. There's some, as you mentioned, some Penfolds. There's a whole heap of different wines. But to me, it's what it stands for. And wines, it's such a fine art because you've got to pick a nice wine, and it's such a subjective topic too, because the wine that I might like, you might hate, and vice versa.
Sure.
So you have to sort of really enjoy what it stands for, and I like to understand, where the wine comes from and the history of the wine and the different soils and the different, textures in the soil where it comes from. And then it's actually sharing a glass with someone very special, one of your loved ones or a close family friend or a best mate. And to open up a bottle of wine and to sit in front of that open fireplace and just reminisce about the good old days or just tell stories. And you don't drink wine to get inebriated or to get drunk. It's not like that. You just drink in moderation and you have fun and you appreciate it. But also too, it can also stand for, like a special moment, to have a nice bottle after the end of your career or a milestone, whether a child's been born. When my son Preston was born, back in 2006, I got a whole heap of really nice wines from 2006,
very nice.
which I plan to share when he turns 21. He wants them for his 80s, but I've told him to hold off. So I said, wait until he turns 21. And so it's nice. And it's also a good talking point. When my friends come over, they all want to go in there and have a look and pick out a nice wine.
Yeah, you can have a long. Yeah. So other than Aussie wines, any particular region you like? For me, I've discovered some very interesting South African wines, for example, right? So
you get some great South African wines down at Stellenbosch. Yeah, definitely.
Stellenbosch is famous, yeah.
Stellenbosch is lovely. And look, it just depends on what wine you like too. I enjoy a real heavy Shiraz, like a real meaty red wine. I enjoy that with if you're having some type of meat dish. So then you'd often go to the Barossa Valley down in South Australia. You can go to Margaret River if you like your whites, like a little bit lighter. The Kiwis do a nice Pinot. They do a lovely Pinot and they do a great Chardonnay and a Sauvignon Blanc as well. So look, there's some wonderful wines all over the world, but we are blessed here in Australia with some beautiful wines.
And some good Pinots from just Tassie too, right? So yeah, it's a very blessed region, the whole Australia for wines. Indeed.
Yeah, and even in New South Wales, in the Hunter Valley, that they do some beautiful wines too. So yeah, and look, you don't have to spend a lot of money on wine. I've had some amazing bottles of wine for $20 Australian. So you don't have to spend $100 to get a great bottle of wine. You can spend $20.
Yeah. So great. Next pick, please. Thank you.
Well, that's me at home in front of my grand piano. So when I bought my first home back in 2001, that piano actually arrived at my house before my bed arrived. My bed arrived about 2 hours later, but that was the first thing in my property when I first moved in. My younger brother, Grant, being a qualified pianist, and he's a wonderful musician, plays every single instrument. we went all over Sydney looking for what I wanted to have the best piano possible. So that's a 7'4" Borzendorfer grand piano. It's got 3 extra bass keys, big sound. You know, it's an antique 1950s piano. So it's a beautiful piece of equipment, if you want to call it that. It's so beautiful, and it's been moved about 3 or 4 times and rarely goes out of tune. But I've always said that growing up with a piano at mum and dad's place, because mum plays piano, and that just to hear someone play the ivory keys takes me back to being at a happy childhood. Playing it around Christmas time, and all the Christmas songs mum used to always play. And yeah, that sort of photo was taken at me just at home. Just I was tinkering on the ivories, and someone took a photo, and they said, "Hey," I looked up, and there we have it. So yeah, that's a very special instrument, that one.
So thank you for that, Binga. We're really getting to know you better, and we got a few questions coming in from our clients. So maybe I'll take a few now. So we have Naveen from Pune. He's asking you, what are the best moments for you when you are part of the World Cup winning team for Australia?
Hello, Naveen. Hope you're well. Pune is a lovely spot. I've been there quite a few times. To me, I guess the best part of winning the World Cup, but actually, I thought at one stage that it wasn't going to happen, because if you can remember, Cash, when you remember that big rain cloud came in?
Yeah.
Back in 2003, and there was a lot of Indian fans at Johannesburg, and they were doing this rain dance, and they said, the game's be washed out. We'll come back tomorrow. It'll be a fresh start. India will get a big score. India will win. I'm thinking, that can't happen to us. We've worked so hard to get to where we are. We've got India on the ropes. If it rains now and we don't get I think it was 20 overs in, we have to come back and do it all again tomorrow. But we got through it, and the rest is history. We won the World Cup.
Yeah.
And just that moment of lifting up the World Cup in front of, on the cricketing world stage, it was such a great feeling, knowing how hard we'd worked for it. We had setbacks. We lost Warney. We had a few other guys coming into the squad. People stepped up that we didn't think that they would. Damien Martin played with a broken hand. Andrew Simons got boosted up the order, scored a big 140 in the first game. So yeah, that it had everything, and it was beyond my wildest dreams that we'd actually win the World Cup.
Thanks for that, Brett. So we have another question from Kenneth Hassan from London. He's asking you, any thoughts on resuming international matches with some precautionary measures, and spectators can come into the game? So any thoughts on that? Or
hey, Kenneth, yeah, look, it's I think at the moment we're trying to get back to getting as much cricket in as possible, and if that means we have to play in a stadium with no fans, well, I think the players would want to do that, because we as viewers, and me now being a very happily retired cricketer and watching either from the commentary box or watching from the lounge room, we want to see good cricket, and it doesn't matter how it's played, as long as it's played somewhere that we can actually watch it, because I think we can all agree that we've really missed watching cricket. I know that Indian fans have definitely missing cricket. So the sooner we can get back and play, hopefully the better. Personally wise, I still enjoy having a run around every now and then. I do get down the nets occasionally, have a bit of a bowl, but it's like wake up next morning and the shoulder's a bit like, a bit stiff in the morning, but it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah. So Brett, just a couple of questions on your music career, right? I know you asked Sachin once, if he was not a cricketer, what would he be? And Sachin said he can't think of anything, right? And if one was to ask you, if you're not a cricketer, you could be so many things, right? And obviously music is a big part of your life. You are part of a rock band called Six and Out. And that's an interesting name. So I know what Six and Out means, because I've played gully cricket. A lot of our people will not know what Six and Out is, but share some thoughts on that. And even your music is so much about cricket. Everyone in the band is a cricketer. And we will talk about some of your songs later, but just tell us about music and how did it go?
Well, the band Six and Out, as you mentioned, Cash, it's 5 cricketers, and we all played either for New South Wales and Australia. So Gavin Robertson, who is our drummer, he's a former off-spinner for Australia, played a few test matches. Brad McNamara was New South Wales all-rounder batsman and a bowler, very good cricketer. He's our lead guitarist. Richard Chikui was the first Chinese-Australian heritage player to ever play for New South Wales. He's our lead singer, who thinks he's Mick Jagger. My older brother Shane, he was the acoustic guitarist. And I'm in the New South Wales cricket team thinking and hearing these guys discussing that they wanted to be in a band. And I'm thinking they've got a lead guitarist, acoustic guitarist, a drummer, lead singer, what's left? Bass. They've got no bass player.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to play music. I took my younger brother Grant. We went to the music store. I bought myself a bass guitar. And I walked in next day to cricket training. I said, boys, your bass player is here. And they went, great, come in. I had no idea how to play music. About 2 weeks later, we did our first gig. We did one song, and I learnt 3 chords on the bass, just like literally boom, boom, boom. And then we had all these people say, if you guys learn 20 songs, you should come down and play at our pub. Now, companies were saying, oh, if you learn 30 songs, come and do a function for our company, come and play at this pub, come and open up this. So we went and spent months in the studio just learning learning songs. And I was trying to learn the bass guitar, let alone learning songs. I was trying to learn an instrument. And then 10, 15 years later, we ended up doing 250 shows around Australia. And that was the best fun. That was the most amazing outlet away from cricket.
You're really talented, Brad. That's so amazing, right? You picked up bass and there you become a superstar. But I want to tell my clients one thing, right?
I'm not sure about a superstar, but I played bass.
I have to tell one thing, right? So one of the singles, this Band-Aid, this is just not any ordinary Band-Aid. This song is called Can't Ball, Can't Throw. It became top of the charts, top 100 in Australia at one point in time, right? But more importantly, there's a whole story about Can't Ball, Can't Throw, and there's a huge controversy with Shane Miller, cameraman Joe. And so tell us something about, what made you sing this song, and it really became famous.
Look, it was before I made the Australian cricket team. And if you think back to the players' numbers, so the baggy green cap, we all get given a number. So, for example, Adam Gilchrist is number 381. A guy called Scott Muller was 382. And I was asked him, so I'm 383. And when Scott Muller played I think it was his first game, he threw a ball in from the fence. And then someone on the stump mic was overheard saying, can't bowl, can't throw. And everyone thought it was Shane Warne. And Shane Warne copped a lot of flack in the press about people saying it was definitely Shane Warne, because Shane Warne was bowling at the time. And then cameraman Joe from Channel 9, he put his hand up and said, no, he said it, and it came through the effects mic. So then we thought that'd be a good name for a song, Can't Bowl, Can't Throw. and we did it. It was more of a take the Mickey sort of song, and we did it. Yeah, it went in the top 100 of Australia songs, so that was crazy.
Yeah. So thanks to that, right? And, I was hoping we could play this number, but I urge all our clients to go to YouTube, and it's really a nice really awesome stuff. So now, Brett, tell us, you keep coming back to India, and your association with India has been forever, right? So tell us, what is this thing which keeps getting you back here?
Well, to me, it probably goes back, Cash, to 1994. When I was 17 years of age. I was in the under-19s Australian cricket team. I actually made the 17s, and they boosted me up to the 19s, and they took me on tour. So I was doing my HSC, my high school certificate, and I was trying to get through and pass that. And then all of a sudden, I hardly even left home, even left my suburb, and then I'm going overseas to India to play cricket. I thought, what a great experience. I went over to India. And 2 months passed, I was over there. I got horribly homesick, horribly sick with, the sort of food poisoning. Only because I've never had spicy food in my life. And it was hot. It was hard to bowl. It was a tough tour. And I came home, Mum and Dad said, how was the trip? And what people would have expected I went through hell. And they would have expected me to say, I hated it, didn't like the place. And I said, I absolutely loved it. And they were like, what do you mean? But you got sick. It was hot, hard to bowl. You stayed at dodgy hotels. I said, yeah, but the people were so friendly. The hospitality was like the best in the world. And yeah, the cricket was tough, but it was such great cricket, great fun to be involved in. And I think I knew right then that I would have part of me would always belong to India. And I gelled with the Indian culture. And right from the start, I said maybe because the whole family thing, I know the way that you could either go to India as a young kid at 17 years of age, and I could stay in my hotel room and drink bottled water and brush my teeth with bottled water and not venture out and not meet anyone,
Right.
and then go home after 2 months and go, yeah, that was a boring trip. Or you can go out and take it and embrace the local food, embrace the local culture, embrace the local music, learn about the culture, learn some Hindi, which I did. And I think people really appreciate the fact that I went out of my way to learn about the culture. Because look, at the end of the day, mate, I'm a guest in your country, so I should at least try to sort of be respectful and learn your culture. Like if anyone comes to Australia, we expect them to also adhere to our culture. It doesn't mean that you have to become an instant Aussie, and you can have your own culture, but at least try to sort of make an effort. So that's what I do when I go to different countries, and in particular India. I want to sort of learn the local culture and have fun. So that's where it all started, and it's been this love affair with India ever since.
And Brad,
But my
it's
Hindi
vice
is still
versa.
my Hindi is still tora.
थोड़ा तो ठीक है, but I can tell you, people in this country love you too, man. I mean, I don't think there are many. The amount of fan following you have is just unbelievable, right? People of all age
Thank you,
groups,
mate.
kids growing up now. I mean, you're really looked up to as So maybe one day we should give you an honorary Indian citizenship. We can
Done.
ask for that.
Just a passport. I love a passport.
So
Mr.
tell us
Modi,
about.
PM Modi, please, a passport. Make it easier.
Yes. So tell us your adventure with Bollywood, right? You acted in a movie called Un-Indian, right? So, and we already have a couple of questions from, maybe I'll take them because, so there's Pooja from Mumbai. She says, we know you love the Bollywood and follow it. Who do you follow the most? So maybe you can take these two together.
Yeah. Well, hello. Hope she's going well. And look, Bollywood has been a big part of my life since I was 17. And you think it's I was only such a young kid there going and like listening to this foreign music. How I got involved with Bollywood and I guess the actual Indian music was when I was 17. I was on that first tour, and we had to find our own way to the cricket ground. It wasn't like we had the fancy bus like we used to have, and you jump on that beautiful big luxury coach and you all get driven down with the police escort. Didn't happen when I was 17. We had to catch a tuk-tuk, like a rickshaw to the game.
Really?
So we threw our cricket bag in the back, and the driver's there, and he gets on. He's like, yeah, this he's driving his rickshaw, and we said, "You have to go down this ground, please, sir." And he's playing this music, and I said, "What's that song?" And he couldn't speak that good, he wasn't great with English, and he goes, "Muqabala," and I said, "What is Muqabala?" And he says, "It's there's a guy that they're sort of fighting over this girl. It's like they're fighting for this Sundar Ladki," as he said. And I thought, well, that's a beautiful song. I said, "Oh, can I please buy the cassette tape off you?" Because remember those little cassettes I used to have?
Yeah,
and he charged me like 500 rupees. He ripped me off big time. But I thought that was normal. And that was my first introduction to Bollywood was Muqabala by A.R. Rahman. So, and then it became playing for Kings 11 Punjab, obviously with the wonderful Pretty Zinta, who's now a very, very close friend of mine, a dear friend, playing for KKR and having Shahrukh Khan as the owner and also like a dear friend. So, you get to meet all the wonderful actors in, Bollywood, and, had the pleasure to spend some time with Amitabh Bachchan and, his son, and they are such a wonderful family. And, you're mixing with royalty. And it's just like, that's what sport does. And, they all want to play cricket, and we all want to be, I guess, actors and singers.
Yeah, mixed cricket and Bollywood, and that's glamour, that's fun, that's everything together. So just changing the track a bit, Brett, I have a question from Raghavendra from Mumbai. He's saying, can you list three main components in your view that define modern success of a bowler in cricket? And then he's also asking you, what are budding young bowlers missing as practice? So any thoughts on that, Brett?
I just think the main components as a bowler would have to be, look, it's people often say what makes a good bowler, and it's hard to pinpoint one or two things or even three things. But to me, I would actually completely go back to the start of the action. I would say you've got to have a very simple action to be a good fast bowler. So when I say simple action, making sure that your arms aren't going everywhere, you're not falling away and pushing the ball, just run at the target, jump at the stumps. So that's probably the first thing. It's all about momentum. The other components would have to be making sure that you're the fittest in the team. You need great stamina. You need great endurance. You need good flexibility to firstly to bowl fast, but secondly to make sure that you can do it day in, day after. Because being a fast bowler is the hardest part of the cricket team. I don't care what anyone says. To be a good fast bowler, you have to be the fittest in the team. And then it's probably that mindset of never ever giving up. That was one thing that my father, my dad Bob, who's always installed in me, was that never say die attitude. We had that with Steve Waugh, but mine went back to my father when I was 9 years of age. I told him I want to play for Australia. He just said, I don't care what you do in life, but if you do something, do it properly. Do it once. Don't take shortcuts. Give it 100%. And if you can walk off the field knowing that you've given it your best shot, and if you win or lose, it doesn't matter. But as long as you give it your best shot, that's all that we can ask of you. So that would probably be the advice I would give to him, is just to, it's such a mental side, cricket.
Right. So here is one more question from Adi from London. So he's asking you, which is your favorite holiday travel destination and why?
Oh, look, firstly, hello in London. Hope you're being nice and safe over there. London's a great spot to tour. It's always, playing in the Ashes is a lot of fun. That's a great trip. You spend about 8 weeks on tour. You're traveling around the bus. You're not on aeroplane flights. It's such a great place to tour. Playing at Lord's, the home of cricket. I mean, wow, doesn't get much better than that. Edgbaston obviously holds a very close part of my heart. Back in 2005, when we lost by 2 runs on that amazing day of cricket against England. But in terms of places to visit or places to tour or favourite holiday destinations, look, I love going to India. I've been to all the major cities in India, but it's getting out of the major capital cities I enjoy. Getting into the sort of countryside and getting away from the hustle and bustle I enjoy. South Africa, you mentioned, some great wines, and Stellenbosch is a wonderful place to go and visit down at Cape Town. You can go all over the world. You can go anywhere that you want. But I think it's also important that you also know your own country. So I would love to go and visit Australia more. I want to spend a lot more time here because Australia is such a beautiful country. We welcome everyone. Everyone's welcome to come to our beautiful country. And, we've only got 25 million people. We're such a huge place, a massive island, that we've got so much space. And, I've only seen such a small part of it. So as much as I like touring around the world, I want to see Australia as well.
So thank you, Brett. I think we are coming towards the end, but I'm going to ask you some very quick rapid fire questions. So just say whatever comes to your mind. So the first set is favorite sport outside cricket?
I would have to say athletics, if you call it a sport, but I just love the whole athletics, like sprinting.
Yeah. Favorite football team?
I don't follow football. I don't have a football team, but if I would, I'd have to go probably Manchester United.
All right. Workout or diet?
Well, you are what you eat. I train every morning. So the diet is very, very important. So I'd say diet is about 80% and work is 20%.
Okay. Strangest fan request?
I've had a few. I've had a few interesting ones. Probably, not a big fan of sending underwear in envelopes back 15, 20 years ago. Not good.
Right. Coffee or chocolate?
Both.
Okay. There is so much to talk. Maybe we'll have another one with you. I know you own a coffee shop too. So we got to get to bottom of that.
I used to, yeah. But coffee every day. Love my coffee.
Yeah, great. So no, Australia has some great coffee, and people are really passionate about coffee. But so in this set of rapid fire, just think of the cricketer which first comes to your mind. Handsome.
Oh, Shane Watson. There you go. He'll be happy with that. He's a good mate of mine. Tough. Simon Kadich.
Passionate.
Virat Kohli.
Lazy.
Oh, lazy.
You've been nice. You've been very
probably,
nice.
Probably an umpire. Some dodgy umpire.
Calm.
Calm. Probably Steve Waugh.
Thank you for that. So, before we wrap up, just a quick one, right?
And I want to clarify that not all umpires are dodgy. That was having some fun.
No, it's recorded. It is what it is.
Fast bowlers and umpires, they're always at loggerheads, but we always love them off the field.
No, sure. So we have a theme called Beyond Boundaries in HSBC, and our theme is basically helping people come out of their shell, think different, and really break the mold, especially in India. So we are encouraging that theme, and I think some of the stuff we should do in terms of giving back to society is also in a way linked to Beyond Boundaries. I know you work with Salvation Army and Make a Wish in Australia, but more importantly, you're supporting music in India, and it's in 6 centers. Do you want to tell us something that's helping people here, how you're giving back to people in India?
Yeah, look, it's, when you are very lucky to be on a platform where you can help people and, having a profile through cricket, and now obviously working and doing stuff with Star Sports in India and going out in front of hundreds of millions of people. The good thing is you can actually use your profile to actually assist people and to help people. And it's not to get a better to get a better hotel or to get a better place at a restaurant, those types of things. You use the profile to actually help people. So the natural thing could have easily been to go into helping kids with cricket. That's been done 1,000 times, and that's all. That's good. And I think it's been taken care of. So I thought, what's my other passion? It's music. So I wanted to help people and, kids that are suffering from cancer. So in India, we've set up a foundation called Music, and it's spelled MEWSIC. And the reason why I spelled it that way, it's music with sick at the end. So children that are suffering from a sickness, you combine music and sickness and get it music. And it's a play on words, but what it stands for is actually music therapy for children that are suffering from a traumatic time in their lives. So children that are going through cancer treatment, we have music therapists come in, they teach them how to play instruments. They might just bash a drum for a while or get a guitar out or sing some Hindi songs or something. And it just takes their mind off their treatment for a while. So we've teamed up with St. Jude's hospitals. And yeah, it's really nice to get in there. I went in there with my wife like a few trips ago. I was over there and went in, and it's just great to see these children. And you can actually see, just to spend an hour or two with them, it does change their whole concept on what they're going through. And even if it puts a smile on their face for 2 hours a day, it's 2 hours a day that they don't have to suffer and don't have to worry about the treatment that they're going through. So I think it's very important that, I guess, people like me can actually do things like that and actually make a difference, because it is very easy to, when you finish playing sport, just to think and not be selfish, but think, well, someone else would do it, the kids will be okay. But if we all thought like that, well, no one will be looked after. But yeah, it's something that I'm very passionate about. And I know that the kids enjoy when I get the guitar out and sing a few songs. I might sing some Muqabala or something like that, and they have a bit of fun doing it.
No, that's really inspiring, Brett. And, and I just hope that people take your example. There are so many people who are famous and so many celebrities, especially sportsmen. I think they can hugely make a difference. So thank you for going beyond boundaries. For us, this has been so much fun and really inspiring. You've really given us a,
Thanks, mate.
Uplift to our weekend. So thank you so much for your time. Really,
we'll have to do it again,
talking
mate.
to you.
We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, right. Binga, we'll do it. That's done because I have so many questions to ask. But thank you. And, to all our clients, thank you for joining us. And hopefully we'll see you next weekend. Thank you, Brett. God
Sounds
bless.
good. Thank you, everyone, for that tuned in. And please, everyone, stay safe. And hopefully we'll get to see some cricket shortly. Go on your cash. It's a good job, mate. You did well.
Thank you, sir. Namaste.
Namaste, sir.